Delegate Rickney is back on the call.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you very much. Time now is 5:31 p.m. Let me go to Office of Legislative Council. Did they send an email out to Ms. Barbara or Ms. Tawahi or anyway? Office of Legislative Council, is the amendment ready? Ms. Khan, I see Ms. Tapahi, Mr. Witherspoon. Anyone on from Office of Legislative Council?
Day Speaker Damon, this is Chad Beta with Office of the Legislative Council. I just sent a text to Dana, Chief Legislative Council. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, this is Mariana Khan, Office of Legislative Council.
Yes. Ms. Glenn.
Yeah, 1 minute. She's emailing it out right now.
Okay, great. Well, let me go ahead and get everybody back into session. And that, colleagues, let's go ahead and this is we went into recess for an amendment, but let's go ahead and get roll call and get things back in order. We are here at the 24th Navajo Nation Council Summer Session. Today's the second day, July 20th. The time now is 5:33 p.m. We're here in Window Rock, Arizona on the Navajo Nation via teleconference. My name is Seth Thaman, Speaker of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. With that, colleagues, let's go ahead and make a roll call. Let's set this notes up.
Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay.
Zubella.
Honorable Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay did not answer roll call. Honorable Kealan Begay Jr.
Delegate Kealan Begay Jr. is present. Thank you.
Honorable Kealan Begay Jr. entered roll call. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. entered roll call. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown did not answer roll call. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton did not answer roll call. Honorable Amber Knesset-Crotty.
Charles Newton is present.
Honorable Amber Knesset-Crotty. Honorable Amber Knesset-Crotty did not enter roll call. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton entered roll call. Honorable Speaker Damon. Honorable Speaker Damon entered roll call. Honorable Herman M. Daniels Jr. Honorable Herman M. Daniels Jr. Honorable Herman M. Daniels Jr. did not answer roll call. Honorable Mark Freeland.
Present.
Honorable Mark Freeland answered roll call. Honorable Canal Halona.
Halona is present. Thank you.
Honorable Canal Halona answered roll call. Honorable Jamie Henio.
Henio is present.
Honorable Jamie Henio answered roll call. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Ricky Nez.
Delegate Rick Nez is present. Thank you.
Honorable Ricky Nez answered. Roll call. Honorable Carl Slater. Honorable Carl Slater answered. Roll call. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr.
Present.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. answered. Roll call. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr.
Present.
Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. answered. Roll call. Honorable Otto So. Honorable Otto So. Honorable Otto So did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Charlene So.
Delegate So present.
Honorable Charlene So answered. Roll call. Honorable Daniel So.
I'm here.
Honorable Daniel So answered. Roll call. Honorable Eugene So.
Oh, closest chair. Yeah.
Honorable Eugene So answered. Roll call. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr.
Thomas Walker's present.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. answered. Roll call. Honorable Edison Winika.
Here.
Honorable Edison Winika answered. Roll call. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Edmund Yazzie did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair.
I'm here.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair answered. Roll call. Going back up. Honorable Almer Begay. Honorable Almer Begay. Honorable Almer Begay did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Amber Knutsbach Crotty. Honorable Amber Knutsbach Crotty. Honorable Amber Knutsbach Crotty did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr.
I'm here.
Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. answered. Roll call. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not answer. Roll call. Honorable Otto So.
I'm here.
Honorable Otto So answered. Roll call. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Edmund Yazzie did not answer. Roll call. With that, Mr. Speaker, you have 19 that answered. Roll call. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. 19 members answering roll call. We have a quorum. Let's continue on down, colleagues. We were, just as a recap, on legislation 0313-20. We have a motion by Honorable Vice Chair Smith, second by Honorable Winika. We were into an amendment request, and I do believe that amendment has been sent out. It was just now sent out, colleagues. So let me go to Mr. Rico. Read that into the record.
Thank you, Speaker and members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. Amendment number 2, on page 4, line 22, after completed, add the following language. Underscore, an earth road improvement project included on Exhibit E may be modified or changed to a different project with the concurrence of the delegate representing the legislative district and the approvals of the Resource and Development Committee and Budget and Finance Committee, as long as the modification or new project is certified as construction ready by NDOT and the total citizen funding for the district does not exceed $4,670,000. 2, renumber, re-letter succeeding paragraphs, sections, and exhibits accordingly if necessary. This amendment shall supersede inconsistent language containing any other committee amendment which shall be conform to the intent or language of this amendment. The Office of Legislative Services, with notice to the sponsor of the legislation, is hereby authorized to make necessary grammatical changes. Mr. Speaker.
That, Commissioner Smith? Commissioner Smith, are you good with that language?
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, I'm content with that language. Thank you.
There's amendment one. Yeah. With that, on amendment number 2, motion by Vice Chair Smith.
Second, Delegate Slater.
Carl Slater. That, colleagues, any comments, questions on amendment number 2? Go twice. Or 3 times. School board on amendment number 2.
Speaker, this is Delegate again. We're calling in again.
Honorable Elmer Begay.
It's Delegate
Honorable
again.
Elmer Begay.
It's Delegate again.
Honorable Elmer Begay.
By Elmer
It's Delegate
Brigade.
again. Can you hear me?
By Elmer Brigade, we can hear you. We are voting
Okay.
on amendment
green
number
then.
2.
Honorable Elmer Begay.
I voted green.
Honorable Elmer Begay votes green. Honorable Calvin Begay Jr. Honorable Calvin Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown did not vote. Honorable Regina Charles Newton. Honorable Regina Charles Newton. Honorable Regina Charles Newton did not vote. Honorable Amber Knesset Crotty. Honorable Amber Knesset Crotty. Honorable Amber Knesset Crotty did not vote. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr.
Green.
Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. votes green. Honorable Mark Freeman. Honorable Mark Freeman. Honorable Mark Freeland did not vote. Honorable Canal
Green.
Halona.
Freeland votes green.
Honorable Canal Halona.
Halona votes green.
Honorable Canal Halona votes green. Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Jamie Henyo.
Henry votes green.
Honorable Jamie Henyo votes green. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not vote. Honorable Ricky Nez.
Delegate Rick Nez votes green.
Honorable Ricky Nez votes green. Honorable Carl Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Slater votes green. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr.
Green.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes green. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr.
Green.
Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. votes green. Honorable Otto So.
Green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Charlene So did not vote. Honorable Daniel So.
I vote green.
Honorable Daniel So.
I vote green.
Honorable Daniel So votes green. Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Eugene So. Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr.
Green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. Honorable Edison Winica.
Green.
Honorable Edison Winica votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie.
Green.
Honorable Evan Yazdi votes green. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair.
I'll vote green.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes green. Going back up, Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown does not vote. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton does not vote. Honorable Amber Knossbach Crotty. Honorable Amber Knossbach Crotty. Honorable Amber Knossbach Crotty does not vote. Honorable Vince James.
Delegate James votes green.
Honorable Vince James votes green. With that, Mr. Speaker, you have a vote of 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and Speaker not voting, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. 20 in favor, 0 opposed. Speaker not voting, motion carries on amendment number 2. That, colleagues, we go back to the main motion. Have anybody else in the queue? I do have reserved time. Vice Chair Smith, 21 seconds.
Thank you, Speaker, and Navajo Nation Council. Thank you for the vote on the amendment 2. I will defer my time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, with that, colleagues, on legislation 0313-20, don't have anybody else in the queue, nobody else with reserved time. Let me go back to the board. Any further comments, questions? Going twice. Going 3 times. On the main motion, with that, with 2 amendments on legislation 0313-20, let's go to the board. Mr. Rico, actually, Mr. Rico, a second reading, then we'll go to the board to vote.
Thank you, Speaker. Members of 24th Navajo Nation Council, amendment number 1, page 5, line 13, add the following new section. Section 7, Citizen Fund Reimbursement. The Citizen Fund shall be reimbursed in the amount of the expenditure authorized in this legislation from prospective funds available to the Navajo Nation from any and all appropriate state and federal sources, including congressional appropriations under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 or COVID-19 related relief. Amendment number 2, on page 4, line 22, after completed, add the following language. An earth road improvement project included on Exhibit E may be modified or changed to a different project with the concurrence of the delegate representing the legislative district and the approvals of the Resources and Development Committee and Budget and Finance Committee, as long as the modification or new project is certified as construction ready by NDOT and the total citizen funding for the district does not exceed $4,670,000. 2, renumber, relitter succeeding paragraph sections and exhibits accordingly. If necessary, this amendment shall supersede inconsistent language containing any other committee amendment with which shall be conformed to the intent or language of this amendment. The Office of Legislative Services, with notice to the sponsor of the legislation, is hereby authorized to make necessary grammatical changes. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. That, colleagues, let's go forward on legislation 0313-2002 amendment.
Honorable Elmer Begay.
I'll vote green.
Honorable Elmer Begay votes green. Honorable Keala Begay Jr. Honorable Keala Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. did not vote. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown did not vote. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
I vote green.
Honorable Gina Charles-Newton votes green. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty did not vote. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. did not vote. Honorable Mark Freeland.
I'll vote green.
Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Pernell Halona.
Lone votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Jamie Henyo. Honorable Jamie Henyo. Honorable Jamie Henyo did not vote. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not vote. Honorable Ricky Nez.
Delegate Rick Nez votes red.
Honorable Ricky Nez votes red. Honorable Carl Slater. Honorable Carl Slater. Honorable Carl Slater did not vote. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr.
Green.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes green. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr.
Red.
Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. votes red. Honorable Otto So.
Red.
Honorable Otto So votes red. Honorable Charlene So.
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Daniel So.
I vote red.
Honorable Daniel So votes red. Honorable Eugene So.
I vote green, thank you.
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. did not vote. Honorable Edison Winika.
Green. Maybe that's nothing.
Honorable Edison Winika votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie.
Red, green. Red.
Honorable Edmund Yazzie votes red. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair.
I vote green.
Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes green. Going back up, Honorable Paul Brigade Jr. Honorable Paul Brigade Jr. votes red. Honorable Nathaniel Brown. Honorable Nathaniel Brown.
Delegate Brown votes green.
Honorable Nathaniel Brown votes green. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty. Honorable Amber Kanasaw-Crotty did not vote. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr.
Green, see?
Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. votes green. Honorable Jamie Henyo. Honorable Jamie Henyo. Honorable Jamie Henyo did not vote. Honorable Vince James.
Henry votes green.
Honorable Vince James.
Delegate
Vince
James
James.
votes green.
Votes green.
Green. Honorable Jamie Henyo votes green. Honorable Carl Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Slater votes.
I vote green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. With that, Mr. Speaker, you have a vote of 16 in favor, 6 opposed, and Speaker not voting. Mr. Speaker?
On legislation, colleagues, on legislation 0313-20, the vote of 16 in favor, 6 opposed, speaker not voting, motion carries. That, continuing on down. Item number B, legislation 0315-20, sponsored by Honorable Yellowhair. Mr. Rico, defer to you.
Thank you, Speaker. Members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. tracking number 0315-20, and action relating to research and development, budget and finance, Navigated Committees and Navajo Nation Council, allocating $1,424,705 in citizen funds to the Navajo Division of Transportation for the N-8065 Orabi Wash project, approving and adopting the N-8065 Orabi Wash project expenditure plan pursuant to
Speaker, point of privilege, Delegate Crotty.
2508.
Point of privilege, Madam Chair, Amber Crotty.
Thank you, Speaker. If I'm still in order, I was on the wrong Zoom call, but I vote green on the legislation. Thank you.
On the last legislation or this legislation?
With the vote, Speaker, I was trying to cast my vote, but I was on the public Zoom call.
I need to get a motion at the next, on the next, I have not asked for a motion. So with that, according to rules, Madam Chair, Amber Crotty's vote is accepted on legislation 0313-20. So that changes the vote to 17 in favor, 6 opposed, speaker not voting. Continue on, Mr. Rico.
Speaker, motion to recess as Vice Chair Smith.
Second.
I did ask. I'm going to have Mr. Rico continue reading into the record out of respect, and then I'm going to go to you, Honorable Vice Chair Smith.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Member 24, Nomination Council. Tracking number 0315-20 is sponsored by Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. You do have committee reports from the Resource and Development Committee that recommend and do pass with no amendments. There is a Budget and Finance Committee report that recommendation that it did not vote, no second to the motion without amendment. There is a committee report from the Navigated Committee dated January 14, 2021. Legislation failed and but is still referred to the Navajo Nation Council per Navajo Nation Council rule or per 2 NNC section 164.12. The legislation that does not receive sufficient vote for passage by a committee without final approval authority over the matter shall move forward to the subsequent assigned committees or Navajo Nation Council for action. There is a council action report. Legislation was tabled on January 27, 2021. On April 19, 2021, the Navajo Nation Council acted on legislation. The legislation was referred back to the Budget and Finance Committee. Motion was made by Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair, second by Honorable Chairwoman Eugenia Charles Newland. With a vote of 20 in favor, 0 opposed, motion was referred legislation 0315-20 back to the Budget and Finance Committee for a work session and to and bring back to the Navajo Nation Council no later than the Navajo Nation Council summer session. Also attached to the legislation is a memorandum dated May 25th, 2021 from Honorable Chairman Henyo to Speaker Damon in regards to the work session that was held on May 18th, 2021. And after a thorough presentation with presenters from the Pinon chapter officials, Hard Rock chapter officials, and Navajo Department of Transportation, the following are the committee's recommendations relative to the legislation. 1, add an amendment to both legislations. Section 7, Citizen Fund reimbursement. The Citizen Fund shall be reimbursed in the amount of the expenditure authorized in this legislation from prospective funds available to the Navajo Nation from any and all appropriate state and federal sources, including congressional appropriations under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 and other COVID-19 related relief. 2, INDOT to develop a long-range plan addressing budget shortfalls for roads projects that are equitably distributed among the 24 council districts. 3, an agreement to be negotiated with the Hopi tribe related to the 8-mile match across the HPL or O&M. Is the Hopichai willing to match funds with construct the road? 4, leverage the funding by requesting federal funds to match the funds requested. 5, the committee needs to meet with Resource Development Committee to review the project shortfalls and future funding, which may include ARPA funds. 6, NDOT is requested to provide an amendment request for ARPA funding consideration. There is a committee report from the Navajo Ethic Committee dated July 15, 2021. The legislation passed and moves on to the Navajo Nation Council. Per Navajo Nation Council Rules of Order, Rule 9, legislation has been read into the record by electronic voice recording. Mr. Speaker.
That, Mr. Smith? So come to you.
Thank you, Speaker. Motion to recess for this evening. Thank you.
Colleagues, motion to recess. Before I get a second, this motion to recess will be at 6:02 p.m. We do have recognitions tomorrow, but colleagues, there are a couple of delegates who have turned in for requests, not only for meetings, but also for travel too as well. So if this motion to recess continues, then those meetings and the travel will be on hold until council's out of session, continuously into Thursday and into Friday, if need be. That, colleagues, there's a motion to recess by Vice Chair Smith. Is there a second?
Second, Stewart.
Second by Honorable Stewart. That, colleagues, any comments? Not. Let's go to board on a motion to recess at 6:02 p.m. until tomorrow, July 21st at 10 a.m.
Honorable Elmer Begay.
I will agree.
Elmer Begay. Honorable Elmer Begay.
I will agree.
Honorable Kealan Begay Jr. Honorable Kealan Begay Jr. Honorable Kealan Begay Jr. did not vote. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Dr. Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Nathaniel Brown.
Delegate Brown votes green.
Honorable Nathaniel Brown votes green. Honorable Engineer Charles Newton.
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Engineer Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Amber Knaspach Carty.
Delegate Amber Knaspach Carty votes green. Thank you.
Honorable Amber Knaspach Carty votes green. Honorable Herman Daniels Jr.
Red.
Honorable Herman Daniels Jr. votes red. Honorable Mark Freeland. Honorable Mark Freeland.
Green.
Honorable Mark Freeland votes green. Honorable Panal Halona. Honorable Panal Halona. Honorable Panal Halona did not vote. Honorable Jamie Henyo.
Green. Green, Helena.
Honorable Jamie Henyo.
Henyo votes red.
Honorable Jamie Henyo votes red. Honorable Panal Halona votes green. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not vote. Honorable Ricky Ness.
Delegate Rick Nez votes green.
Honorable Ricky Ness votes green. Honorable Carl Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Slater votes green. Honorable Raymond Smith Jr.
Green.
Honorable Raymond Smith Jr. votes green. Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr.
Green.
Honorable Wilson Stewart Jr. votes green. Honorable Otto So.
Green.
Honorable Otto So. Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
Speaker, for clarification, can you tell us what legislation we're voting on?
Honorable Charlene, so we are actually voting to recess.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. I will vote red.
Honorable Charlene So votes red. Honorable Daniel So. Honorable Daniel So. Honorable Daniel So votes red. Honorable Eugene So.
Vote is lost. Okay.
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. Honorable Thomas Walker Jr.
I vote green.
Honorable Thomas Walker Jr. votes green. Honorable Edison Winika.
Green.
Honorable Edison Winika votes green. Honorable Edwin Yazzie. Honorable Edwin Yazzie. Honorable Edwin Yazzie did not vote. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair did not vote. Going back up. Honorable
I
Keon
vote
Jr.
red. Doug Calvin Jr. votes green. Thank you.
Honorable Keon Jr. votes green. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James. Honorable Vince James did not vote. Honorable Evan Yazzie. Honorable Evan Yazzie.
Delegate James
Honorable
votes
Evan
green.
Honorable Evan Yazzie did not vote. Honorable Jimmy Yellowhair votes green. Honorable Vince James votes green. With that, Mr. Speaker, you have a vote of 18 in favor, 4 opposed, speaker not voting. Mr. Speaker.
Question of privilege, Speaker?
You hear me now? Hey, colleagues, with that, 18 in favor, 4 opposed. We are officially in recess at 6:02 p.m. Again, tomorrow, colleagues, we are starting out tomorrow at 8:30 with our pre-function before going to council. We have recognitions that are starting at 8:30. Going into right before council session will be starting right there at 10 a.m. And then, colleagues, so remember tomorrow's color is white, honoring our grandparents, giving our loved ones a call, a visit to check up on them. Being Wednesday, tomorrow, the color is white. That, colleagues, have a good evening. Safe travels to everyone on the way home this evening. Safe travels getting back to where we have to stay. We will see you here tomorrow in the chambers if you're going to join us. Not
Speaker, this is Doug Yellowhair.
on the teleconference.